Yes. Hello. Only 5 students at 7. Hello, everyone. I have only 5 students here.
Good evening, madam.
Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Where are the others? I can see only one now. A little.
J'ai déjà mis sur Blackboard. Peut-être ils vont nous joindre après là. C'est déjà sur WhatsApp group.
Ah, c'est déjà sur WhatsApp group. Ah, vous avez un WhatsApp group, mais pourquoi vous ne m'avez pas mis dedans? Parce que là, il arrive que mon portable est rempli avec le nom des étudiants. Parce que là, si c'était un groupe, on pourrait savoir de ce qui se passe. Un groupe serait comme si par message. Et là, le problème, c'est j'ai quelques trentaines de messages sur mon portable de différents élèves sur WhatsApp. Et c'est difficile pour moi d'utiliser mon portable avec tous ces étudiants qui m'envoient des messages. Ce serait mieux si j'aurais aussi, comme si on m'avait ajouté dans le groupe. Qui c'est qui m'a parlé là? Hein? Devina, Miss Devina, Miss Devika.
Oui, c'est moi, mais je suis pas l'admin. L'admin, c'est quelqu'un d'autre. Je dois lui faire savoir.
Bien sûr. Mais combien d'élèves il y a hein, dans la classe?
On sait pas exactement. Il y a un peu, mais on sait pas exactement la quantité.
Parce que moi,
Peut-être
j'ai vu
40.
74, mais là, je vois
C'est ça.
que j'ai
Bonsoir,
reçu quelques
madame. Non, il
40.
n'y a pas 74. Il
Dans
y
le
a qui montre
attendance
pas
sheet, il y a 74.
Peut-être 40, je crois. Une 40.
Oui, c'est ça. J'ai eu 40 assignments, je crois, j'ai eu. Parce qu'il y a les receipts aussi, non?
Il y en a
Oui.
beaucoup de drops.
Pour
C'est ça
cohorte
peut-être
11,
que
je
ça
crois
fait
qu'il y a quarantaine. Pour les récits, je ne sais pas.
Ici, il y a beaucoup qui m'appellent après qui m'ont appelé. Enfin, qui ont appelé le programme manager. Et elle a
Mais
répondu.
sur le WhatsApp group aussi, il n'y a pas tous les élèves qui sont dessus.
Non, mais c'est pas grave, important que vous êtes en communication et puis là, on pourra parler et tout s'il y a quelque chose, s'il y a des nouvelles et tout. Bon, I can't wait because it's already 7:10 and you know how the list is long for explanation. So in all we have I can say 6, 7, 8. Three units, three chapters left. Okay, and then we have revision. That's it. Talk.
Oui.
We are left 6, 7, 8. At least others also can reply. So not always Miss Devina who represents the class. Okay. You should also reply because you should know where you are and for what you're here tonight. Okay, you should know which paper I'm going to lecture. Yes, let me talk a little, but the problem is I have only 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10 students present. Was that one 10 out of 40, 30 students absent? What to do now? I wait, I wait, I wait. They will join afterwards. What about the assignments, vous autres? Vous avez pu envoyer? Everybody present here have already sent their assignments in copy? Because I have something to announce. I think I'll wait that everybody joins. Then only I can talk to you. I think they said first time we are having class at 7. Maybe they are at work. They are on their way. I don't know. Maybe that's why. Miss Vanshika Udan, I think I saw your message regarding your assignment. Emma, Divna, Apia. I think you all have sent your assignment already. Shubha, Divya. So I start the class. I can't wait longer. Those who come afterwards will join. Otherwise, we shall be late. It's already 7:10. Yes. So now we see we shall go for chapter 6, unit 6, resource mobilization. You have your papers in front of you.
Yes.
And what about the others? Pas la peine répondre, vous autres.
Yes, madam, we have.
Good. We have. You don't know what she's doing. She's not. You should say for yourself. Because I can see each and every one little and not connected, suddenly connected. Yes, many left, maybe connection problem. Okay, won't waste time. So see, I don't know that I have to wait for the remaining students, then only I can start the class. I've only 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 students, only 6 students here. Not even 10. Okay, I start, but I have message. Let me finish chapter 1 in the meantime. Okay, what is resource mobilization? So see here. Here the unit overview. The unit elaborates on introduction to resource mobilization. This chapter is on resource mobilization, understanding key concepts and terminologies, resource mobilization cycle, and we have resource mobilization strategy, how to approach RM, type of resources, estimating the resources, resource providers, resource leveling, and resource allocation. You can see at the last page, all the questions are based on this. So these questions, they cover the whole chapter. So we don't have to go as I had something to say, Miss Anisha. Miss Anisha, not Arab yet. I think I remember her name. Where's Mr. Vinesh? Are they aware that there is class today? I'm afraid they are missing the class.
Ma'am, they are all aware, but some are working, but it's a usual thing. They will look at the video afterwards.
I see. Ah, that's good. Then I
Several
can
times like
send
this,
my
we got
message.
little students
Okay.
only. If you
Okay.
join.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Okay. There are some joining now. Yeah. My problem is I could see that many students tend to compare my class with other classes. Why that? Maybe you're used to the other way of doing things. See, I'm 10 years at University of Mauritius. I've been working there. So far, everything has been on the right way, and recently I spoke to a girl who told me that she wanted the class me to teach only the main chapters. What are the main chapters? I don't know. Miss Vanshika? No, she's not the one. What are the main chapters? There's one girl one lady who requested me because the main chapters are important. I have no main chapters, sorry, but all the chapters are important for me. Any question from any chapter, okay? And you should be happy that I'm not going page to page. I'm going on the question only, which englobes already the chapters. These are the main points. The questions are already the main subject of each and every unit. The question covers, if you see at the last page, you have the questions and the answers. You can refer to the answers. They cover the whole unit. Okay, that's why I go to, if I go page by page, you know how many months it will take to complete one unit? You remember the first and second, I had to speak quickly because I couldn't cover the chapter 2. You remember that? It was the unit on what that was, I forgot. First chapter, second chapter, it was on that. And I had to fasten because time was limited. So now what I'm doing, I'm taking the main questions and I'm going through, and I know what I'm doing. Okay, and this is enough for you to understand the whole unit. So if you see the first question already, what is resource mobilization? So it is already about the introduction to resource mobilization and understanding the key concepts and technologies in RM. So these all points will be covered from the questions set at the back. Okay, so let's see what is resource mobilization. Resource mobilization, yes, here you should clearly define resource mobilization. What is resource mobilization? How is it to use in various contexts? This is how you have to reply to the answer. See, these are the types of questions that you're going to get for the exams. So you should be prepared for these types of reply. I can't go page by page explaining introduction, explaining the different parts. You should be prepared for a question, and you should prepare your questions. Prepare these questions on your own when you come here. You should not ask for questions, but you should come with ideas so that we can share these ideas. Okay? Among other students, we can discuss about your ideas which you have brought. If you ask me question, it will be not relevant because you should be prepared. See which month we are. You're supposed to take part in examination. And remember one thing, I've already submitted all questions for the exam, and there's no choice to make. All questions are compulsory, okay? Let me tell you, all questions are compulsory. So you have no choice for any main chapter or main questions. All questions are important, all units are important. I'm not sparing any units, so you have to revise well. And so much I have been explaining you should be prepared for your answer. Okay, you should be prepared for how to reply to questions. Every day I'm showing you this. Every time we are meeting, I'm showing you, for instance, here, what is resource mobilization? How do we start with replying such questions? It is not in one line or two lines. You have to see the number of points you're getting. If the number of points is high, so you have to elaborate, give maximum time to these kinds of questions. Okay, and you should be well prepared to be able to get a BSc. It's not like learning by heart. You have to understand the question. You have to understand the chapters, each and every unit. Okay, I'm telling you already. And one more thing, I don't know when those remaining students will be present. Let me share this. I was really a little disappointed by the way you submitted your assignment to me, and the way some were not, some were reluctant, not that happy that they had to submit a copy of their assignments to me. This they could have done by post. It's not a big deal. Anybody can do it by post. No need to disturb and come to say, oh, I live here, oh, I live there. Okay, and you have a phone number. My mistake, I've given you my WhatsApp number. Maybe because of calling. Because when I'm out, I don't get network. You should have called me online, not to ask with people, because nobody knows me, neighbor, nobody knows their neighbor. Okay, you should have come or sent it by post, easy. Everybody's asking for my address. It's easy for them. And one lady already told me that she has meeting at I don't know, at 14 hours, so I should come and collect it there. What is this? I work for you? You take your responsibility. I was very angry about that. You can't send your paper, it's okay. Don't call me to come and collect your paper at work or wherever you live. This is not my work. I'm not going to take any part in exams. I'm going to mark your papers. Okay? I'm not going to work for you. It is your responsibility to send me your papers. Don't message me to come and collect your paper where you work. I was very angry about that. And Miss Devina, you were angry about that I asked for paper in other classes. They don't ask. I made a request. If you can't, you can't. It's okay. I'm not angry about you.
No,
But
no, it was not this.
and I hope you were not angry.
I was
Because
just
see,
no,
it's only
I was just asking you.
Ali, it's okay. But see, 40 students sending me assignment. I have set a number of words. It is 1,500. Maybe people have not taken it into consideration. The papers I've got were not specified there, the number of words. So one thing is very serious here. I'm not going to, I'm supposed to reject all papers or maybe beyond 2,000 words. Okay, I'm going to reject. I'm sorry. I can't sit and correct 40 pages. 40 pages, imagine. 40 pages I sit and correct. I could have corrected 3 assignments for that. Okay, you should respect the number of words I'm giving. They say some saying in other class the lecturer said as much you write, but I never said so. For me the problem is who will be penalized? Those whom I have requested to write 1,500 words, they have tried to compile all their ideas within the 1,500 words, and what happened now? Those writing beyond 40 pages, 35 pages, 20 pages I saw, writing around maybe 5,000 to 10,000 words, they are trying to put the maximum ideas, and then I'm going to give them marks more than those writing 1,500. It's based on my request that they did this work, and now I can't penalize them because you have given more ideas. You understand what's happening? I can extend it a little because nobody can write exact, but maybe not 1,500 until 1,900. Okay, but you have to rework your assignment to minimize it, because for me what is important, in the very little words you're able to put maximum ideas, then you won't copy, I'm sure. Okay, I'm not going to check through safe assign to turn it in a report. Okay, I don't want any kinds of plagiarism. And Miss Devina, your problem is you try to work very good presentation, but you can see my title is incomplete, your name has been doubled. What was that? I could see this. I'm not happy. Okay, this is maybe you are in a rush, but try correct your things, everyone. Okay, I'll give you a second attempt for everyone, so you please send your assignment within the limit of numbers I submitted, please. I hope those didn't attend the class or listening to the recording. So please, it is very serious. Rework your assignment. Minimize the number of words where you have elaborated a lot. Try where it's not important, you just remove it. Put it to the point, very specific, so that when I read, your ideas are here. Okay? Otherwise, I'm not going to give big marks to those compared to those writing 1,500 to nearly 2,000 words. Please review your papers. 40 no, 4,000 words. No, how much I say? Oh yes, 40 pages. 40 pages. You know how many words is that? 40 pages is too much. Don't do dissertation with me, please. I'm only correcting assignments, and I gave a limit of words. So please, everybody review. I'll send a message. Review your assignments. If it is more than 2,000, please rework your assignment. Okay, submit your assignment to me. I'll give you time. It's okay, but review your assignment. And now it is a competition, very challenging, because you're going to put the maximum ideas in the minimum words. That's very challenging. And nobody is going to penalize this way. In this number of words, I'm going to see how many ideas is here and how well you have elaborated your work. Okay? I don't want to penalize anybody. Everybody will get their chance to get their marks, but please rework your assignment if it's too long. I'm not going to sit and correct dissertation. I'm sorry. Okay, I give you limited number of words so that you also are not stressed. You have a big exam in front. You're already working on your dissertation, I guess. Yes, I'm right? Reply. Are you working already on your dissertation?
Yes.
Yes.
So where did you get time to write 40 pages? It's too much. Don't copy paste or don't try to do maximum with maximum words. Everybody can give maximum ideas, but I'm not going to penalize those giving little ideas with the 1,500 words, because this was the limit I expected. Maybe 400 words, it's okay. Okay? Everybody will come up with their ideas, but within the number of words I gave as limit. Okay? Please rework your assignment. Okay? And no need to send me now, because I can see how you are disturbed by sending me any assignment. Those reworking the assignment who have already sent, don't send back again. Okay? Rework your assignment. I expect you to respect the number of words. Okay? Otherwise, it's going to be a mess. I don't want to go to your I don't know which idea you are adding after what you have in mind. Just go to the point, give me my answer. I already elaborated, I give you a hint how to reply to the assignment. I already gave some idea on which point to elaborate, and all this was that easy. But was not you complicating things, okay? And complicating my time limit. Okay? So let's see the work also.
Madam, sorry to disturb you again. For me, you said something. Should I do my the printout again?
What happened to you? How many words?
Devika, I don't know. You
Yes,
just
how many
mentioned.
words?
No, I didn't get it. Should I?
No,
Devika Guljar.
what happened to you? What
No,
did
you
you
just
do?
no, because you just said something on that. I didn't get it. What you said on my
The
assignment.
title is Devina. I think it's Devina. Gogosan has been written twice on the title, but my title has been incomplete. Be it simple, but everything should be there. This counts in your presentation. I don't know if you have already submitted.
I already submitted with a hard copy.
Yes, I saw it. That's what I read it like that, and I saw your name has been written twice and all this. It's not Devina, it's Devika. No, it's not Devika, it's Devina. I'm sorry. Yes. Okay. It's okay now? It's clear? Okay, so let's see the
Okay,
papers.
ma'am.
Your eight module, you have to read them well, to understand them well. Okay? It's not too demanding, but know what you're writing and go for the revision. Okay, I'm trying to facilitate things as a facilitator, as a tutor, but I'm not your teacher. Okay, I'm lecturing. Okay, so you also have your part of work to do. Okay, do your part of work, your part of research, your part of revision, your part of assignment from your side. Okay, try to verify where you get more ideas, but don't get it too bulky, but be very presentable. Okay, that's why I'm explaining how to reply to questions. Okay, I think by third year you're already good at it. Only for receipts also, I have students for receipt, they also have to see. But I'm different, I'm looking at your work, I'm making things easy for you. What is resource mobilization? As I said, here you should clearly define resource management. What is, resource mobilization. What is resource mobilization? How is it used in various contexts? Elaborate on the importance of resource mobilization. How has it become more challenging in today's world? Okay, so yes, Yes. Here are the questions. See, these questions, if you see well on the screen, it covers the whole module. Okay, no, this is already main points as compared to what you have on your whole module to read page per page. Here you have everything. From this, you have already understood the chapter. Okay, if you read it well, you have already understood the chapter. So we take it one by one. We are already very late. What is resource mobilization? So here, from page 104, let's see 104. Yes, you will see that the increase in development and competitive environment resource mobilization has become more challenging with the scarcity of resources pertaining from the recent global economic crisis. You will see the impact of global economic crisis, okay, on the resource mobilization. There has been a scarcity of resources, okay, and resource mobilization identifies the essential resources for development, implementation and continuations of works for the achievement of the organization goals. Okay, these are very important, and it is the expansion of relations with the resource providers, the skills, knowledge and capacity for proper use of resources. Without forgetting, resource mobilization is not only financial but the process to achieve organization goals through mobilization of human knowledge, skills and expertise, equipment, services and so on. Okay. It refers to all activities undertaken by an organization to secure new and additional financial, human and material resources to advance its mission. Okay. Here, if you read on page where it has been specified 6.1, you read, you will see the importance of resource mobilization, but that's not enough. You always have to make some researches. Okay. I'm also providing this. Resource mobilization refers to all the means that an organization should acquire to implement its action plan. Okay, it refers to the process of gathering and utilizing various resources, such as what are the resources which we have to mobilize: financial capital, human resources, technology or materials, so that we achieve specific goals or objectives. That's as simple, I guess. Okay, the concept is often used in various contexts. Let's see the role of non-profit sector. This is what we are going to see normally. What are NGOs doing, what are government doing, what are community doing, business. These are what we see when we see social project. Okay, now we are concentrating on resource mobilization. So non-profit sector, non-profit organization use resource mobilization to secure funding, to recruit volunteers. This is their job, non-profit, non-NGOs, non-profit sector. They recruit volunteers because they don't pay, they don't have to make profit. So how do they work? They recruit volunteers and obtain other forms of support to advance their missions and programs. You have seen how NGOs work, non-profit making organizations. They go for people who can support, they are volunteers. This is how they work. They make things happen. Okay, but business companies, they engage in resource mobilizations to attract investment, to acquire talent, to leverage other assets necessary for growth and development. This is the main aim regarding resource mobilization. Then we have the government now. Governments might mobilize resources to fund public projects. This is the aim of the government. You see, every organization has a target. Okay, here what we see, they use resource mobilization. It's to fund public projects, to respond to emergencies, or implement policies. This is government responsibilities. Now we have community development. You know, community, these independent organization, community development in local communities. We can see religious organization like that in communities. Resource mobilizations involve organizing and utilizing local resources okay, and talents to address community needs and promote development. This is how they work. So effective resource mobilizations involve strategic planning, identifying and engaging stakeholders, and leveraging networks and relationships to ensure that necessary resources are available and used efficiently. It is not getting the resources and you mobilize resources, but you should also use it efficiently, effectively, okay, when once available, okay. That's very simple and that's very direct. So everybody here, I'll send the message regarding your assignment. All of you here who has given more than 1,500 words, and even in the assignment you sent to me, not everyone has specified the number of words. Who will go and sit and count for you? I'm not going to sit and count. Yesterday, yes, I think Jawahir Khan send me her assignment. There's no specification of the wordings on the hard copy. Why is that? Because see, once it is more than the expected wordings, I'm going to just not read it. I'm going to give priority to my students who have followed my instruction, who have given me, who have specified the number of words. Hard copy is not as if just like that. It is what I'm going to focus on in priority now, because I'm traveling again. So this is what I'm going to use. And I made a request to you, but you have not written it well. I didn't get the number of words. How do I know if I should read it? So many pages, no wording specified. I'm giving priority to other students, okay, whose works are specified with numbers. Yes, Ms. Devina.
Ma'am, should I submit on Blackboard again? Because I check it, it's okay. I don't know why you
No,
are receiving
students
it.
are coming. It's now that they are coming. I can see more than, wait, I count. It's 15 students now, by now. Okay, maybe they are
No,
late.
I'm asking you for the assignment. Should I send it on Blackboard
No, it
again?
should
No.
specify again. Yes, yes, to put it on the blackboard. Please, please. Tell them maximum 1,900 words. It's already too much. Okay, I can't penalize others who have followed 1,500 and I'm giving marks. The more you write, the more you are going to get marks. That's normal. But once it is irrelevant to me, I'm not going to give any more, any marks. Okay, so please limit your number of words. Rework your assignment. Those who have not yet, who have already written, who have already submitted 40 pages. I'm not going to read. I'm sorry. 40 pages. Students are sending me 4 pages. You know how much is 40 pages? It's too much. 20 pages. 20. What is this? Please, please. I'm not going to be detailed. Please, please understand. Okay. So second question. Yes, Vinesh. Hello.
Yes, good evening, madam.
Good
So
evening.
for the second attempt of the assignment, the maximum number of words will be
Yeah, I think I'll keep it around 1,900. Okay.
1,900 will be the maximum number of words.
Yes, I give you some 400s extra. Okay. If
Okay,
it is within your number of words, I'm okay with that. Okay.
okay,
If you
okay,
have
madam. Thank
respected.
you.
Eh? Okay. I think Miss Devika is lucky. Miss Devina Garosan. I think you're lucky. How many words you have written? I can't hear you.
Sorry?
1,900. How many words you have written?
I don't know. I need to check it. It was not
Eh?
beyond that.
I remember it is 1,900, but see, until 1,900. And not extra. Extra, I will cut your conclusion. I see people you have written only 2 lines for conclusion. You know how you have 10 points for conclusion? What was that? You write so much, 20 pages and conclusion 2 lines. See, I'm not going to make any remark now. It's already submitted. Let me correct your papers. But I'm shocked. You submit all the details on the front page that this is going to get so much mark, so many, this. But when you write your conclusion is so little. You should see to it because every phrase is important for me. Conclusion only 2 lines. I saw this everywhere, but I'm sorry, it's already submitted. No correction. You have to limit, you don't have to increase. Okay, to limit the number of words. Already submitted until 1,900, I'm correcting. Okay, I'm correcting already. No need to review for those who have until 1,900. Any extra, please reword. Okay, submit it for me, Miss Devina. Submit it on Blackboard. Tell them to rework the assignment. Yes, or I send a message.
No, on WhatsApp group. You mean at WhatsApp
Yes.
group?
Yes, on Blackboard.
Okay.
You told me on Blackboard. Yes, you send on message. I'm sending on Blackboard.
Okay.
See, I'm going to submit. I'm going to send a message, but you have to submit on message to me. You understand? Because your date limit has elapsed. Everybody's listening to me. Why only Devina Paul is talking to me? Nobody is. Only Vinesh. Vinesh just spoke to me. Everybody that okay with you that you submit on message your new assignment after reviewing, after working the number of words? Is that okay that you submit on message to me? Okay.
Madame, bonsoir. When you say message, is it the message on Blackboard?
Yes, it's by this many sent me their work.
All right, thank you.
I've
got 2,200. I need to bring it back.
Yes, just limit the words. Yes, you have. I'm sorry. The rule is for everybody. Nobody's special. Everybody's special.
No. I mean, the reference itself is 200 words, so I need to bring it down. So there's the reference.
I said 1,900.
With the reference.
Oh, reference also.
All right. Okay.
No.
Okay.
Your reference is in the. Yeah, I think it's included. Reference also is included, no? Everybody, Vinay? Mr. Vinesh?
No, the reference is not included for the number of words.
It's only your this is a reference to your work, but this is not your work. Your work only has to be given to me in number of words. Your presentation, your first page, your content, this is not included. No, I'm right.
So I'm good then. Everything with the cover page is 2,200, so it should be okay then.
See, I'm expecting your work with 1,900 words. Okay, your work is 1,900 words. Okay, I think okay with your presentation and everything. It's very confusing now. Everybody has given presentation and everything. So let me give it to you 2,000 words. Okay? Is that okay?
All right. Yes.
Is it for you? Now you remove only 200 words. 2,000 is okay. Yeah, let's go for it. Okay, that's better. That's better. Already 500 words extra. Ali, let's fix it here. Okay. So let's see. Second question. We are already 1 hour, nearly 1 hour. See, discuss the different phases of resource mobilization cycle. Okay. Here, the second question. Yes, question 2. So on page 105, we see the general concept for resource mobilization is identical to the project cycle. You remember the project cycle? The cycle, it involves 3 phases. Here it is to plan, to act, and to reflect. Plan is to design phase, including a situation analysis. Act, implementation phase, and C is monitoring and evaluation phase. So good relations with resource partners should be built throughout the design stages of the project, okay, if they are stakeholders in delivery. So if we have here to see the phases of resource mobilization cycle, okay, and secondly, the strong emphasis on a result-based management framework, and then we have appropriately targeting on resource mobilization strategy and action plan. It involves an in-depth analysis of the prevailing aid and resource environment at global, regional, and country level. So here we can see that it has been explained here, the planning phase, the action or implementation phase, and the reflect phase. Who can read it quickly for me? Nishal Sharma Nahain, are you here? I'm choosing my student now because I can't see only one person reading at the same talking at the same. Nishal, Mr. Nishal, have you put camera on and gone somewhere? I can't hear them. It's not here. Wow. Miss Anisha, quickly vous autres, regardez l'heure. Miss Anisha, are you here? Please reply. Miss Shobha?
Yes, madam.
Yes, Miss Shobha, you read. I'm going to check Miss Anisha afterwards and Mr. Nishal. Yes, you please read. Read
The
the planning phase. Okay.
The external resource.
Next paragraph. Yes, read the planning phase, Miss Shobha.
The external resource environment should be analyzed
Yes.
to find out if opportunities exist and how to approach potential resource partners. Secondly, the resource requirements of the project should be examined. A plan should be established on how to involve the resource partners. Thirdly, the planning phase should establish an OM strategy and action plan. The mission is how to target resource partners and for which resources. And lastly, communication plan. This describes the various tools for communication with different resource partners. It therefore supports the OM strategy plan. The resource targets, which are elaborated in the action plan, are thereby prioritized in the project.
Good. And Miss Anisha, you read the action or implementation phase. This also is very important. The phase, let me read. Her mic is not good. So this phase is processed through 5 steps, which are outlined below: to identify, to engage, to negotiate, to manage and report, and to communicate result. This is how you have to proceed. Okay, this is the implementation phase. Then you have the reflect phase. Okay, the phase is where the resource mobilization effort, that is the strategy and action plan, is monitored and evaluated. It reports on the success or failure of the project. The organization can also learn from the experience and improve the strategy plan and focus on initiatives to maximize success. Okay, so these are the phases. Now let me see the additional information that I have provided. You also have to make some research. This is good for you. Any question can come up. As I said, there's no choice of questions for the exams. You have to attend all questions. Okay, so you be prepared. Okay, so the resource allocation mobilization cycle is a structured process through which organizations, particularly non-profit NGOs or even business ventures, obtain and utilize resources effectively to achieve their objectives. This is how they make use of resource mobilization to achieve their goals. Okay, and this is done effectively. Okay, they effectively make use of utilize the resources. And the phase of these cycles typically include, here as you can see, assessment and planning. okay, where we have the we identify and evaluate the resources required to meet organizations' goals and project objectives, which involves understanding the gaps between current resources and those that are needed. Okay, and secondly, the planning, which develop a resource mobilization strategy that outlines how to acquire, allocate, and manage resources. This plan should align with the overall mission and goals of the organization. Second, we have the resource identifications, the type of resources, okay, where we determine the type of resources needed, which may include financial capital, human resources, material, technology. These are the resources, okay. Here you have the detail of the resources which you mobilize, the technology, the in-kind contributions. In-kind contribution, I hope you understand. Cash or in kind, in cash or in kind. That is, you mobilize or everything that has to do like people's contribution, the support of people from a community. So resource sources, you have to identify potential sources for these resources, such as you have donors, grant making, institutions, corporate sponsors, government agencies, volunteers, and community partners. Okay, this is what you have to identify first, the resource identification. Once you identify your plan, you identify, now you have the resource. How you get them? Resource acquisition, fundraising, and grant applications. Okay, so you implement activities to acquire financial resources, such as organizing fundraising events, applying for grants, or soliciting donations. How are you going to do that? Miss Devina, organize concert. How do you get donations? These are the means, okay? You have several means: fundraising. You have to do marketing. You have to persuade people, campaign, all these. Partnership development, build and maintain relationship with potential partners, stakeholders. Who are the partners? Who are the stakeholders? Who can provide non-financial resources like expertise, volunteers, and materials. See, these are the main points which easily you can elaborate once you have in your mind what you're going to need. Okay, now you have already made the acquisition. You have already obtained what you were looking for. You plan, you identified, you got it through these means I specified. Now what you do, you allocate. Okay, these are the phases, important phases. Now you allocate. How you allocate? Budgeting. You developed a detailed budget to allocate resources according to the strategic plan and priorities. This is always important. Even in a house, you have to make budget. You have to do budgeting so that you know where you allocate your fund, even your saving. Even you all people here, you work. How you manage your budget? Where you allocate some budget, where you allocate the other. Alpe courant, what do you do with your money? You have some for saving, you have some which you allocate on this work, you allocate for the studies. This is what is resource allocation, what you have, what you obtain, what you're going to allocate. How you're going to allocate? Through budgeting. Okay, according to the strategic plan and priorities. You're big enough now. You know how to manage your budget. You know how to allocate your budget. So this involves financial planning and management to ensure efficient use of the funds. Pas prendre tout mettre en place, as we say. Okay, so you have to plan what is more important, what is secondary. Okay, now resource distribution. Okay, you distribute resources effectively to different departments, projects, or activities based on their needs and the organization priorities. Okay, here is easy enough. This is about where you give your money is to the departments, to the projects, or to the activities. Then you have implementation and management, where you execute and you monitor the evaluate. How you execute? Okay, you carry out the activities or projects for which Okay, sorry. Yes. So you execute, you carry out the activities or projects for which the resources were mobilized. Okay. This phase involves managing the resources according to the plan, and then you ensure they are used as intended. See, when you're understanding things, it becomes easier. It becomes easier for you to understand the different phases. Okay. Then you monitor and evaluate. You just don't only distribute the money, you execute the work, but without any monitoring. This is also crucial. Then you evaluate the work you have been doing so far. You have done so much planning, so much. You fought for your fund. You make good distribution. Now you're implementing. So you have to monitor and then you have to evaluate how it was. So you continuously monitor the use of resources and evaluate their impact. This helps to ensure that resources are being used effectively and that the project or organization is on track to meet these goals. Okay, everything should be on track. Okay, then finally, as everywhere applied, you have to report and accountability. Reporting, you provide transparent report to stakeholders, donors, and other relevant parties on the use of your resources, the progress made, and the outcomes achieved. This is what you monitor finally. Okay, and after the evaluation, this is what you do. And then there should be accountability, means your transparency. So you ensure accountability through financial audits. You have at work, you have audits who make an accountability of the financial record. Everybody, I think, where they work, there is this procedure. Okay, so this is where they learn from for them to apply there. Okay, no, not social work, but they do it in specific, like finance, MBA, and all this. So you have to ensure accountability through financial audits, performance reviews, and adherence to legal and ethical standards. Everything has to be done according to a rule, a principle, and ethic. Okay, and everything should be in order. This builds trust with stakeholders and supports future resources mobilization efforts. Okay, and now we have finally the feedback and adjustments. Now you review. You gather feedback from stakeholders, you assess the effectiveness of the resource mobilization efforts, and you identify lessons learned. Okay, then finally, adjustments. You make necessary adjustments where required to the resource mobilization strategy and the processes based on the feedback and evaluation results to improve future cycles. This is not the end result. You have the cycles, you have future cycles, so you have to improve from where you have evaluated. Okay, so as you can see, each phase is interconnected. Okay, and effective resource mobilization relies on a whole, on an entire and iterative approach to ensure that resources are obtained, managed, utilized in alignment with an organization goals and objectives. So you see how the phase is easy if you go for it. Now the third question is to elaborate on the resource mobilization strategy and the key essential elements. See how to reply this question directly, the result. No, you always remember always that the examiner is zero. He doesn't understand anything. You have to explain him what you have in your mind and how you think you can find the solution to this question. Okay, you have to make him understand now what is resource mobilization. And then you try to elaborate what is resource mobilization and the strategy, and then the key essential elements you have to provide. Then only the examiner understands. Then only he gives you marks. What if you go for directly the key essential elements? As if, you know, he knows, let's finalize. No, it's not like this. You always have to go to the proper channel. Okay, so how would I say? Let's see the reply as mentioned here. Page, the key elements of the RM strategy. So let's see. you have already got the definition for ORM. Now you go for the strategy. You see, steps by steps, you reply to such questions. Then it's very good. Okay, so ORM strategy is as important. Let's see page 106. ORM strategy. ORM strategy is as important as the final document itself. Okay, the key stakeholders should be involved in all the following stages of its development. Here are the developments. Okay, somebody will read it. A quick check. It is important to check that the essential groundwork has been done in developing and program document. These are the strategies. There are many ways of replying, but the strategy is very important because it gives the best result. Okay, strategically position the organization in relation to other development actors, government and stakeholders. This is to ensure streamline approval to organizations' works as well as the ability to attract resources. Okay, you see how strategies help. You review resource requirements for the program framework, and we need to establish the extent of the resource requirements in order to know the amount of resources that need to be mobilized. Compare and analyze the amount of resources available and that are needed for the project. Okay, we should know everything before doing any mobilization of the resources. You analyze the external resource environment. You conduct an ORM situation analysis of the country, regional and global resource partners trends. You establish goal and intended outcomes of ORM strategy, as well as guiding principles for resource partners and engagement. These are the points I'm reading myself. Number 6, you are following at 107, everybody's silent. You have to identify potential resource partners and match their interests with organization priority areas of work. As such, you have to identify existing and potential resource partners and analyze matching interests. Okay, what matches? Then you develop an action plan, you develop outputs, the key activities, the persons responsible within a time frame, and a set of progress indicators. I hope you have read all these before coming. You develop your means to monitor and to evaluate progress ORM strategy. Your progress should be measured against ORM strategy and action plans through appropriate management structure. Then you agree on the final ORM strategy document and the action plan, and finally set out all the strategic ideas in a document. This is how you have to proceed, and this is what has been written in your book, in your manual. Okay, so it's easy enough. What I add also is resource mobilization is a strategic approach used by organizations, particularly non-profits and social enterprises, to acquire and utilize resources effectively in order to achieve their goals. Every resource mobilization had the final result of achieving goals efficiently, effectively, and a well-developed ORM strategy ensures that an organization can sustain its operations, expand its reach, and fulfill its missions. Here's a detailed breakdown of the key essential elements of the best ORM strategy. Okay, the need analysis is the financial resources, human capital, material assets, and intellectual property. And we have to take stock of the current resources available to the organization, including existing funding and assets and skills. This we have to make an assessment of what we have. Okay, the strategic planning, we have an objective setting. We define clear, measurable objectives for resource mobilization. They should align with the organization missions and strategic plan. And then we have a target to determine potential resource sources, such as individuals, donors, corporate sponsors, government grants, and in-kind contribution, as I said before. Okay, let me check. Yes, this is very long also. Then we have, once we have this, we have the engagement, relationship building. We have to build and maintain relationship with key stakeholders. This is important, Wizard. We have to include donors, partners, and community leaders. Effective communication is also important. Remember one thing, and engagement can enhance trust and support. Partnerships and collaborations. We have to establish strategic partnership with other organization, business, and government entities. Now, finally, fundraising and campaigns. As I said before, campaigns, this is also important. We have to design and implement fundraising campaigns according to different audiences. Who are we targeting? This is very important. Wait. Wait for me. Yes. I'm sorry. Okay. Sorry. Yes. Where were we? Yes. So I talked about the campaign planning. Yes. I talked about the campaign planning. So we have to see who are our targets and what are the resource types that we have to see to. This might include online campaigns, events, and direct mail. Okay. The case for support. This point, if you have in mind, you just have to elaborate them based on your understanding. So you have to develop compelling case statement and value propositions that clearly articulate the organization needs, impact, and the benefits of the supporting of the supporters. Okay. Now the capacity building is also important. You have the monitoring and evaluation. For the capacity building, we have to invest in training for staff and volunteers to enhance their skills in resource mobilization. Okay, you have to include grant writing, donor relations, and project management. We have to ensure that organizations have the necessary systems and the processes in place to manage and track resources effectively. Okay, this is for the capacity building. And for monitoring, as I just mentioned before, you always have to keep track. Okay, to implement mechanism to track resource acquisitions, you have to implement mechanisms. Okay, you have to regularly review and report on progress to stakeholders and funders. And then you assess the effectiveness of resource mobilizations, the efforts, and adjust strategies as needed. Okay, you learn from successes and challenges to continuously improve the RM approach. This is how you monitor and you evaluate. Before I told them, now this is more in details. Okay, now you have the sustainability and the proof, long-term planning, where you develop strategies to ensure long-term sustainability. Okay, and then you adapt you adapt and open new approaches and technology that can enhance resource mobilization efforts. Now finally, you have the ethical consideration and compliance. As I told before, the ethic is very important. Here you ensure that resource mobilization practices are adhered to ethical standards. The organization values, transparency, and accountability is very important result to maintain trust. Remember this one. And legal compliance, this also we have to comply with the legal and regulatory requirements. You remember on the page 2, no, on the chapter 2, we talked about the regulatory norms. This is also important. This is where it applies always, okay, related to the fundraising and resource management. You have to go according to the rules, to the legal. You have to consult the legal and regulatory requirements before you organize any fundraising or resource management. So by integrating these elements into a cohesive resource management strategy, resource mobilization strategy, organizations can more effectively secure and utilize the resources they need to achieve their missions and sustain their operations over time. Okay, this is about strategic resource mobilization. Now, why is resource allocation needed? Why should we do that? Let's see, why is it important? Anybody? Nobody? This has the details about resource allocation has already been specified as per answer you will see at question 7. I repeated at 7 point something. You see at the back. This has already been replied. Okay, we won't read it again. Even time is limited. So it's the same thing, resource allocation. You have understood it well by now. Okay, you just have to revise henceforth for the exam. So resource allocation is crucial. Why? Because it involves the distribution of available resources, such as time, money, and personnel. Time has always been important for any project. Money has always been important for any project. How to do the work, the personnel is important. Okay, so these are the resources that should be best distributed and effectively distributed to various project tasks or departments in a way that maximizes efficiency and effectiveness. Okay, several reasons why it is needed. This is there on the board. Optimal utilization. Resources are often limited. And proper allocation ensures that they are used in the most effective way to achieve the best outcome. Okay, what if you have the proper resources, you have so much resources, but you don't know how to use it? What happens? The project will always be incomplete. The result will always be incomplete. Why? Because the proper allocation was not done. You see the government, when they work on project capital budget, you see what they do? They allocate the budget properly to this ministry, to this ministry, to this ministry. If proper allocation is done, we are never satisfied with the amount of money we have for this year. Allocation of 1 year budget, 1 year amount has been voted, 1 year amount will be given to every ministry. So how is it allocated? Proper allocation is done accordingly, and also to upcoming projects, upcoming new projects. Why? So that this is well distributed, effectively distributed, and we achieve the best outcome. What happens if he gives all the money to the Ministry of Arts and Culture? You make entertainment, and what is left for the Ministry of Health? You see, everything has to be best allocated. So here is the reply to why is resource allocation needed. Why you do this? If you don't allocate properly, you will never get the best outcome. Okay? So priority management, it helps in setting priorities by allocating resources to projects or tasks that align with strategic goals, ensuring that the most important initiative receive the attention they need. Which is most important? We are taking social project. The ministry is not making profit, sorry. The government is working for the welfare of the country. So what is more important here according to the ministries? We go for which? Education, health? Which ministries are important? Okay, then remains the Ministry of Sports, Ministry of Culture, Heritage, I don't know, this. So what is the most important priority we give? It is these ministries that I'm telling. So the priority management is also, we have to manage our budget properly. Let's not take ministry now, let's take it in a simple organization where you're working. So how do you manage your budget? Okay, you have to give priority what is more important, for which you have to do as if, let's take an example, you have to celebrate an event. Okay, the Ministry of Women's Rights has to celebrate something at the end of, let's say, April, the achievement by the women section. So to achieve this, to show their achievement, the budget has to be allocated to them, to the women section. Then they give to the child protection. It's like this, as if I'm taking a ministry just to explain which is important, because they have to explain what has been done so far. because they have, this is to mark the day of Women's Day. That's Women's Day. I don't know the date, but they have to show something. So they have to provide the result by this day, by the Women's Day, so that they have to show their achievement, this, and this. So we have to manage effectively if we're working in this department. This is an example, okay? If I'm working at the Ministry, at the Heritage, as I've been working there. So what is important for me? Which heritage site has to be safeguarded first? Which is more important, vulnerable? Which is being falling little by little? So I have to safeguard this. This is the urgent. So I vote a budget for this. This is how I manage it. Okay, then I go for another one. What is based on priority that we do the resource allocation. Resource is time, money, and the personnel. So you see how it becomes easy for you? Depends where you're working. Okay, depends where you are working. What is more important? You give priority to it. Okay, this is how you manage. Now you see cost efficiency. Efficient resource allocation can minimize waste. Okay, and reduce costs by ensuring that resources are not overused or underused. So you see, efficiently, if your resource is best allocated, this can minimize waste. What you give too much. They need only 2 materials to complete a work. You give 5. You give 5 for what? This was not important. What, there is an event for 50 people. You were to provide 5 people in the event, I don't know, any event, but you provide some 20 people for only 50 people. You see, there's a waste. So you reduce costs by ensuring that resources are not overused or underused. So with 5 people, you can manage the organization, the event. Okay, and there is the cost is the cost is cut. Now, risk mitigation. Proper allocation helps in identifying potential risks and adjusting resources accordingly to mitigate those risks. So risk also, you have to proper allocation helps to identify potential risks. Okay, now you have goal achievement. Are you with me? Everybody's here? Sleeping? Watching serial?
Yes, madam.
Yes, madam. Yes, madam.
Serial. Yeah, you're with me. Okay. Now, I hope you're understanding why is resource allocation important. Okay, this is an important chapter. Okay, balancing workloads. You have goal achievements by aligning resources with organization goals and objectives. Allocation helps in meeting targets and achieving desired outcomes. Okay, I hope this is clear. Now, balancing workloads. It ensures that workloads are balanced. Okay, preventing overburdening of some areas while others are underutilized. Okay, you don't overload. Are you? Yes, I'm sorry, my laptop is off every some seconds. Yes, so what I'm saying, so it ensures that workloads are balanced. Okay, you don't give 5 doctors in one hospital and one doctor in one hospital. Okay, when the patient is same. Okay, as if this is an example. So it ensures that workloads are balanced, preventing overburdening of in some areas, while others are underutilized. Here is underutilized. Okay. Adaptability, it allows organization to be more flexible and responsive to changing conditions by reallocating resources as needed. Okay. And improved planning. Effective resources allocation involves strategic planning, which helps in forecasting needs and preparing for future demands. Everything should be very well calculated. Okay, as from now on, you're very sharp. You just don't do things like that. Anything you do, you see, you take it from the base. Then only you can apply it at project level. Where the project starting, as I always said, it starts at your home. Okay, anything you organize, everybody organize. Everything you do, you have to do a very strategic planning. Okay. So overall, resource allocation is a key component of management that helps ensure that resources are used wisely to support the success and growth of an organization. Okay, Now, for an organization, it is very important. But you can see people who are not that educated, but they know how to plan their things. Why? They learn from their parents, from their ancestors. They are learning, they are doing business, they are coming like this without doing an MBA, without doing big studies. You can see they are making big money. How? Because they are learning. Somehow they are learning. But you are getting it here. So you learn it. This, you apply it. And you will see it will work in every what you do, in every aspect. Okay? Now, 5, you discuss how would an organization estimate its resources. How? Pass on. Let's see, page 111. I'm tired talking. Now you will read for me some. Estimating resources in an organization. Done. This involves a systematic approach to determine what is needed to achieve specific goals or complete projects. Okay, question 5. Who will read it for me? Anybody? Where is Nishal? Are you here? Mr. Narayan. Nishal Sharma Narayan. I can see you're not replying to my... How do I get him? He's present, but he's not present. I'm insisting that Nishal Sharma replies to my question. If you are in class, please. Mr. Juan? Kasi?
Yes, madam.
I think I'll talk to Mr. Nishal later. I can see. Yes, read for me. Read now. Read slowly, carefully, and to make others understand what you're reading. Page 111.
Estimating the resources. The main aim of resources estimating is to assign resources to each activity in the program. There are 5 tools and techniques for estimating activity resources, which are listed below. Number 1, expert judgment. Means bringing in experts who have done this sort of work before and getting their opinions on what resources are needed. Number 2,
You see, yes.
Number 2, alternative analysis. Means considering several different options for how resources can be assigned. This includes varying the number of resources as well as kind of resources to be used. Usually there are more than one way to accomplish an activity, and alternative analysis helps to decide among the possibilities. Number 3, published estimating data is where project managers use to help them to figure out how many resources they need. They rely on articles, books, journals, and periodicals that collect, analyze, and publish data from other people's projects. Number 4, project management software, such as Microsoft Project, will often have features designed to help project managers to estimate resources needs and constraints and find the best combination of assignments for the project. Number 5, bottom-up estimating means breaking down complex activities into pieces and working out the resources assignments for each piece. It is a process of estimating individual activity resource need or cost and then adding up these together to come up with a total estimate. Bottom-up estimating is a very accurate means of estimating, provided the estimates at the schedule activity level are accurate. However, it takes a considerable amount of time to perform bottom-up estimating because every activity must be assessed and estimated
Time-consuming, yes.
to be included in the bottom-up calculation. The smaller and more detailed the activity, the greater the accuracy and the cost of this technique.
Very good. Okay, so you see here we have seen the main aim of the resource estimating, how to assign resources to each activity in the program, 5 tools and techniques for estimating activities are here. Okay, and now let's see additional which I've put. NA is resources to assign resources. Okay. Waiter. Good. Okay. This is very important. Now, what I add extra is on the estimating resources in an organization. This involves a systematic approach to determine what is needed to achieve specific goals or complete projects. Here's a comprehensive guide. So this note I'll provide you. As always, we see the objectives. You clearly outline what the organization aims to achieve. Okay, this is more important. And then you go for how would an organization estimate its resources. It's based on the aims he wants to achieve. Okay, this could be related to a project, to an operational goals, or a strategic initiative. So the scope is to determine the extent and boundaries of the project and objectives. This helps in understanding the depth of the resources required. And then he identifies the resource categories. If the human resource, you assess the number and types of personnel needed based on the project, based on the objective. Then only how you discuss how you would go for an organization's estimate its resources. Okay, you always have an aim first. Then you have to identify the resource categories. You assess the number and types of personnel you need, including their skills and expertise and roles. Okay, and you have to see the financial resource. You estimate the budget required for the project and objectives, including capital and operational expenses. And then you have the material resources, where you have to identify physical resources needed, such as equipment, technology, and raw materials. I think you know about that. Okay, I haven't specified it here. So this, first you have the objectives, then you identify what is required. Okay, and without forgetting human resource, financial, material, and the time. Time resource, you estimate the time required for each task or project milestone. So you have a time limit. You should not forget that. Based on the time is very important, because you set based on your time, you have to provide the number of human resource. You have to provide the number of personnel. If your work has to be completed in 2 days, what happened now? You have to provide more people to finish the work earlier. But what if you get 6 months to complete your work? You still have time. So two worker can complete this side, and you can put to work on the other side based on the projects. Time. So you see how time is also very important. Now you have to analyze the correct resources. The inventory existing resources. You have to evaluate what resources the organization currently has. This is important. What you have to hire. You hire services from outside, but you have to make full use of what you have first. If there's time constraint, then you have to hire the services of extra workers to provide for the project to get complete within the time limit. Okay, so currently what is important, what you have is includes the staff, equipment, the technology, and the finances. And the gap analysis is where you compare current resources with what is required, where you identify any any extra worker that you may need if necessary. Now you develop resources estimate, the bottom-up approach, where you involve team members or departments in estimating their own resources needs based on their understanding of the tasks involved. And now you have the top-down approach. That's different. The senior management or project leads estimate resources based on overall goals of the objective. That's another level. Then refine these estimates with input from teams. Okay, then you have this. I'll provide you the notes. Historical data. The more information you give me that is relevant at the exam, during the exams, the more it will be in your interest. Okay, just don't go according to what you have in your manual. That's not enough. Okay, so historical data is you make use of data from previous similar projects and operations as a benchmark to estimate resources. What you do, you already have something in the past, you make maximum use of it. Always make reference to the past. Even the exams, you make reference to past exam papers, isn't it? That's it. And you use resource estimation tools and techniques. You work breakdown structure, where the breakdown of the project into similar tasks or components, and then is done, and then you estimate the resources needed to each. Okay, you make a breakdown of the project. Okay, the breakdown of the project, how is it done? You make a breakdown in smaller tasks, okay, or into components, and then you estimate the resources needed for each. You understand? So you have divided, make it in 5. As if you have this work to do, you divide it in different components. Then here it is easier for you to tackle each component based on priority. Okay, which where you make an estimate of resources where needed urgently. Then second, that you spoke about that previously. Then you make you utilize program evaluation and review technique. These are the technique to estimate the time and resources needed for project tasks. Okay. You employ software tools that assist in resource estimations and management. That's another level. Okay. Then you consider external factors, the market condition, which account for external factors that may affect resource availability, such as economic conditions or industry trends. Okay, this is also important, where resource allocation becomes more challenging. Okay, then you have the regulatory requirements, where you ensure compliance with regulations that may impact resource needs or availability. Okay, now you have to allocate your resources, prioritization. You allocate resources based on project priorities, deadlines, and strategic importance. Then you have contingency planning, where you set aside resources for unexpected challenges or your changes in scope. This is also important. Okay, then you monitor, then you review. Monitor the resource utilization throughout the project, and then you reassess. When you finish monitor, you always assess, you evaluate, then you improve. Based on the assessment, you review everything and then see how you will improve. After project completion, operation cycles, you review the resources estimation process and the outcomes. And continuous improvement. You use lessons learned to refine, improve future resource estimation processes, and you make things get better as compared to what it was in the past. Okay, by following these steps, organization can more accurately estimate the resources needed, optimize their use, and improve overall project and operational efficiency. Okay, this is how you estimate resources. This is also important. You compare to the past, you check your project well, everything should be well planned, and checked the deadline, which is more priority, how to distribute your personnel, your resources. Okay. 6, elaborate on the fundraising strategy. Are you hungry? I hope not yet. Talk. Everybody here? Who is cooking at the same time?
Yes, ma'am.
You're hungry. Yes, but we don't left much time, 30 minutes. Yes, so I think some are having dinner at the same time, I guess. I know who is having dinner, let me tell you. Where is he? Nishal Sharma is unavailable despite his presence. Maybe he has put on and he's cooking. No, he's cooking. So you elaborate on the fundraising strategy. Fundraising strategy is very good. And the factors which have to be considered in this process, where you illustrate your answer with an example of how an NGO could raise funding. Who raise funding normally? It's NGOs, because they don't have fund. And how do they do that? Let's see. Let's turn the page. We see. I can't show you your page. I think you know the reply. Let me tell you, it's the page 112, I think. 111, 112. Yes, 113 also. Okay, so resource mobilization. Okay, resource mobilization is to mobilize resources. As always, we start somewhere. Resources includes many different things except money. Okay, different things except money, as you know all. As such, raising support from volunteers by organization, NGOs may receive material donation or contribution from its own community. Okay, all these support as donations may be referred collectively as resource mobilization. Resource mobilization is actually the process of raising different types of support for an organization, including both cash and in-kind support. Okay, one organization is organizing lunch for old age. What they do in the community, what happens? They are NGOs. They want to do something for them. What they get? They get in-kind support. What are the in-kind support they can get? Anybody? And Baljiri? Okay, cash and in-kind. They don't get in terms of money, but they get it in terms of support. Okay, in-kind support. They are. Let's see in terms of organizations. Okay, I took it at community level, but now let's see how is that going to be. Okay, let's turn the page. Submitting proposal to a typical donor agency is the most conventional way of getting support. Submitting proposal. Okay, then you have organizing fundraising event. Okay, this is where guests are invited and requested to donate for an organization. Okay, you invite the guests and they and request to donate for an organization. Let's suppose you are organizing Diwali festival, and then many people comes. You invite them, and then you explain, and then you meet in an event. You organize fundraising events. Okay, directly organize fundraising events. Guests come, and then you suggest you want this, you want this, you want this, and you explain the reason. Okay, you submit your proposal. You request for fund through fundraising events. Donation boxes where small amounts of money are requested from public. This is also a means. Okay, this you can see everywhere. Okay, in supermarket everywhere. You're collecting in-kind contributions such as used clothes, furniture, any climatic conditions unbalanced in the world. You see what happened. You have the collecting in-kind contribution. You have clothes, furniture not here, I'm sorry. Okay, this is one thing. And then you may need something as vehicles, even buildings, even furniture. You are doing something for the interest of people. So you're expecting these things for donation. People can donate. Okay, volunteer support. Who work in NGOs? Who work in NGOs? Volunteers. You don't have? Not at this age, no? Okay, it's okay. They could best explain based on what they do. Okay, where volunteers provide their time and resources to support the work of an organization. You have many volunteers. You know how it is done. You can see in communities when they work during an event, during festivals. Okay, you will see many doing like this. Okay, in many events you can see volunteers. In many events, not only in any election at community level, in any celebrations, you will see volunteers appearing. Okay, income from business-oriented projects of an organization. This is also one, like selling of publications, offering consultancies, microfinance, microinsurance, or micro-enterprise-based activities. This is also one. All the above listed types of support are essential for NGOs to though all of them do not contribute equally to the funding needs of the organization, yet a good fundraising strategy will consider all these. We should also consider the motivational factor. No, this is another thing. We'll discuss it afterwards. Okay, now 2, 3. Let's see. We have also the 6.10. Okay, we should not forget this. You see here, you have the politics. Politics, where you receive notes, spreading the ideology, making decision for one's interest. Okay, somebody can read it. Read it quickly. 6.10. Mr. Nishal, allez deviner. Read it. Okay, politics, social,
Motivation
yes.
factors. Politics, receiving votes, spreading the ideology, making decisions for one's interest, supporting the party and enforcing party's program. Secondly, social, to expand relations with various personalities, to encourage education for community, free transport for students, and utilize unused resources. Thirdly, financial business, to earn money, make profit, to evade tax, to get tax concessions, and to receive interest. Fourth, religious, to build temples to increase followers and increase the religion publicity. Fifth, cultural, to increase influence of one's culture.
Okay.
I continue.
So you see, these are the these are the motivational factors, which are also very important here. Let's see. Yeah. So let me talk a little about the extra fundraising. Fundraising is a crucial activity for the NGOs as it provides the financial resources needed to carry out their mission and achieve their goals. Okay. Developing a successful fundraising strategy involves several key factors, which I have specified on the screen here. Okay. So you have to, first you have to know, again, the objectives, why you want to make fundraising. You identify what the funds are needed for, what is the specific project. Okay. And then you have to set clear achievable financial goal. Okay, then we should recognize different types of donors here. Okay, and then we have to make research of potential donors to understand their giving patterns and preferences. As you see politics, you have to see social, financial, religious. So these sections, these peoples have to be organized, to be identified. They are research potential donors to understand their giving patterns and preferences. They are the one that people normally approach. We go to politics. Okay, we go to social. So you have social groups, you have business, you have religious groups, you have cultural groups. Many people approach these people. So you have to develop a fundraising plan. Okay, based on your audience. Okay, you have to include the grants, and then you have to make a strong case for support. Okay, based on the mission, the impacts, and the needs. Now you should be clear about how funds will be used and the expected outcomes. Otherwise, no people will come and help you. Everything should be justified. Some say their name should be specified at the end of the program. Okay, that we are thankful to this, to this, to this. Okay, many wants for publicity, but still they have the funds. So these are the way to encourage them to get the finance from them. Okay, you have to create marketing, communication materials. Okay, you develop consistent branding, messaging for all fundraising materials. You have pamphlet, you have banners and all these. You have noticed on the street when you go somewhere, these are the campaigns, how what they are doing, what they are expecting. Then through this there is transparency. This is way of communicating. This is the way you do marketing. Okay, you use various communicational channels, like social media, newsletter, direct mail to reach potential donors. Okay, leverage a relationship and networks. where you engage the board and volunteers in fundraising efforts. Networks is very important to reach to new donors. This is important to know who are the donors, as we just specified, just Devina just read. Okay, you have to build partnership with other organization, business, and influencers to expand reach and credibility. You have to monitor also the launch fundraising activities according to a plan. You ensure effective management and execution. You monitor progress. As always, you have to track your donation and evaluate everything. You have to monitor the effectiveness of each fundraising method, adjust strategies as needed. You cultivate and acknowledge donors. You have to recognize the donor. Show appreciation for contribution. As I said at the end, you're very thankful in public. This can be a thank you note, public acknowledgement, and or a special event or you can give them when you invite them during the event. You make them sit in front. They are the VIPs on that day because they have made big contribution. You see, and at the end you are thankful to them in public. Their name are being specified in the thank you note, and then you maintain ongoing communication with donors to build long-term relationship for another event, another organization. This is how things are done. Okay. Now we have your number 7. You discuss the resource leveling and resource allocation. Whew. Let me see now what is left. Resource leveling. Let us see page 113. Resource leveling and resource allocation. First paragraph, somebody read. Now Devika. Miss Devika, read. Talk, I don't have enough time, please. Miss Anisha? Okay, I think you're not willing to read. I have to read myself. Okay. Resource leveling is a project management technique used to examine and balance use of resources, usually people or equipment over time, and for resolving over-allocation or conflicts. When performing project planning activities, the manager will attempt to schedule certain tasks simultaneously. Project planning resource leveling is the process of resolving these conflicts. It can also be used to balance the workload of primary resources over the course of the project, usually at the expense of time and scope. You will see every question we are making the use of the same resources, but how they are distributed, in which context, this is being reviewed. Okay? So here also resource leveling can take the work demand and balance it against the resource pool availability for the given work. Resource allocation is used to assign the available resources in an economic way. It is part of the resource management. Okay. Voilà. Let me see here. Leveling phase. Okay. Now, in project management, resource allocation is the scheduling of activities and the resources required by those activities while taking into consideration both the resource availability and both the project time. Here's a definition of in project management, in strategic planning, in resource allocation. Yeah, you see resource leveling, project planning, resource leveling, resource allocation, project management, and strategic planning. Resource allocation is a plan for using available resources, example, human resource, especially in the near term, to achieve goals for the future. Let's see now what we have here. So, everybody listening, resource leveling and resource allocation are crucial okay, or crucial concept in project management and operations management. They both aim to ensure that resources are used efficiently and that projects are completed on time within budget. This we have learned from chapter 1. Okay. However, they address different aspects of resource management. Let's see resource allocation. This refers to the process of distributing available resources. Yes. Number. Sorry. Yes, resource leveling. Nobody's saying that the title on the screen hasn't been changed. So resource allocation refers to the process of distributing available resources such as personnel, the equipment, and the material to various tasks or projects. The primary goal is to match resources to project needs in a way that optimizes overall performance. Okay, if you match resources to project needs, this optimizes overall performances. You should remember this. Identifying resource needs, we have to determine what resources are needed for each task or project. Matching resources to tasks is to assign the appropriate resources to the task based on their availability, skills, and requirement. Okay, not anything is done like this. We have to see the matching resources to tasks. We have to assign the appropriate resources. Un infirmier comme on peut dire un médecin. Okay, assign the appropriate resources to tasks based on their availability, their skills, and requirements. We have to balance demand and supply. We ensure that resource supply meets demand, considering both current and future project needs. This is also important. Prioritization, you allocate resources to tasks based on their priority, deadlines, and impact on the project. Now, effective resource allocations helps in avoiding resource shortages or excesses, which can lead to delays or cost overruns. We already told you before, everything has to be balanced and leveled. Okay. Resource leveling is a technique used to address resource constraints by adjusting the project schedule to balance the demand for resources with their availability. The goal is to prevent overloading resources to ensure a smoother distribution of work. The key aspects include: you identify overallocated resources, you detect instances where resources are scheduled to work beyond their capacity, or where multiple tasks overlap excessively. This is not good. Adjusting project schedule, you modify start and finish dates of tasks to distribute resources usage more evenly. This has to be done to manage resources usage more evenly, where you modify your start and finish dates. This might involve delaying some tasks or extending the project timeline. Maintaining project scope is to ensure that changes in the schedule do not negatively impact on the overall project objectives or deliverables. Improving resource utilization, aim for a balanced workload to prevent burnout and maximize productivity. I'm tired now. Nobody's waiting for me. You have to focus. You have a timing, which you have to take into consideration. The example scenario. This will be available in notes. Let's see chapter 7 now. Chapter 7. 7.1. Now let's see social and environmental issues. Okay. Wait. Okay, chapter 7, we see at least we try to reply first question, okay? Give a brief definition of sustainable development. What is the importance of chapter 7? What is the importance of sustainability and how will you introduce it in social project? So far, I've been talking about the project, social project, the development of social project, and the management of social project. So far, this has been the case. And now, how shall we incorporate sustainability in social project? Let's see this part now. Okay. So, page 1, sustainability development as defined, either development that needs 7 point. Yes, either development that meets the needs of the present without page 119 vous autres. Either development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generation to meet their own needs. Okay? Somebody read it. Tired? Let me read it. Sustainability was adopted by many companies through the mission. Allez, okay. Ashna, read it. Page 120, 2 paragraphs. Read it for me. That's very important.
The sustainability was adopted, that paragraph?
Yes. Yes. Read
Sustainability was adopted by many companies through their mission statement and strategy. However, the social and environmental dimensions of sustainability are difficult to be incorporated in their programs and projects to execute the organization's strategy. An organization has to consider the goals and related measures and the economic, social, and environmental criteria to attain the objectives of its projects. Projects can itself have economic, social, and environmental impacts. Thus, selection and monitoring should be aligned with the principles of sustainable development, requiring evaluating and comparing alternatives and ranking them based on their immediate cost, long-term cost, and contribution to organizational goals.
Okay, good. Now the reply is also associated with page 141. Relationship with sustainable development. Anybody can read it? First paragraph. Kapotun page 141. Yes, read it. Again, Devika, what are the remaining?
No, I haven't read, ma'am. Madam said Devika. It was Devina who read.
Allez, read it.
Okay.
At page 141.
Okay.
First paragraph.
Environmental consideration has very close relationship with sustainable development. Without natural resources, it is difficult to keep developing. Many developing countries lost their precious environment in order to get short-term benefit by losing their natural resources. After losing the natural resources, they cannot only keep developing, but also cannot keep their food. In order to keep developing, the environmental consideration must be necessary.
Okay,
sustainable.
No. Okay. Now we see the sustainable cycle and the unsustainable cycle. Thank you, Devina. So as you can see here, the importance of environment has been highlighted. And taking into consideration 7.18.1, you can see that we are going more in depth about the sustainable development. Okay, where when the country enters the sustainable cycle, it is very difficult to escape the cycle. You see, water, soil, forests have closely relations with each other, and it gives us a lot of benefits. So in order to enter sustainable cycle, we have to see long-term benefits and to select wise way. Okay, this is how we have to take all these into considerations. We have to take the environment cost, the mitigation measures. We have a way for win-win. Many developers think that we can consider the environment in the end of planning. However, their thinking is wrong. page 142, 7.18.2. If we consider the environment in the beginning of the planning, the environmental mitigation would be very effective and the environment cost would be very cheap. But in a way for win-win at point 3, win-win means the condition where we can obtain both economic success and environmental success. And in order to make a win-win situation, development with environmental consideration must be the key. Okay. Now we have we should not forget the unsustainable case where there is deforestation in Madagascar. There have been the polluted river there, desiccations of Aral Sea. Okay, these are also cases, and sustainable case is the ecological policy in Costa Rica. Okay, these are the examples. Okay, so here what we see is sustainable development, which is a holistic approach to growth that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. It balances economic, social, and environmental factors to promote long-term health and well-being. You have noticed every project now, what do they give priority to? Any project, social project, what do they give priority to? Sustainable development. Have you noticed even buildings in Ebens, they provide reserves for nature, okay? They provide joggers track, they provide many facilities for human beings. So if you go to your chapter 2, I think, I remember, you have seen that there has been modifications for social projects where they give priority to sustainable development, okay? Okay, where environmental protection has been taken into consideration, have given much importance, where you can see preserves of ecosystems and biodiversity. Now we can also see economic stability, where they promote resource efficiency and reduces waste. And we have social equity, where they ensure all communities ensure that there is access to essential resources and opportunities, okay? And we have capacity building to adapt to climate change and other challenges. All these are taken into considerations. Okay. Now introducing sustainability in a social project. The importance of environment have already been spoken in previous chapters during setting up of social project, as just mentioned. So we have to evaluate community needs and environmental impacts. We have to raise awareness about sustainable practices among stakeholders. We have to involve community members in decision making to ensure their values and needs are addressed. And we have to use sustainable materials and practices in project execution. Example, the renewable energy, the local sourcing. And as always, we have to monitor, establishing metrics to track progress and to adapt strategies as needed. So by embedding sustainability into every phase, the project can create lasting benefits for both the community and the environment. These two have to be taken into consideration simultaneously. Okay? We are 2 hours. What do you say? Stop now. Is it? Tired? Are you listening?
Oui, madame.
Is that
Yes,
okay
ma'am.
now? Okay, thank you. At least we have covered first question. Now we'll take the second, and I have to go first for the next session because I'm left with chapter 8 and 7 and 8 is left. So we finish once, okay? And then we go for revision, okay? I think this is the only session left, 2 sessions left.
Yes, madam.
Essai et exercice.
Allez, bon appétit vous autres. Merci. Allez, bye bye. Take care. All right.
Bye.